Have you ever wondered what people say about you when they think you're gone? Would your family cry for you or secretly celebrate? And what would you do if you overheard your own child rejoicing over your death? I never wanted answers to those questions, but life, cruel, unpredictable life, forced them on me all at once. I woke up to two things: blinding hospital lights and betrayal so sharp it cracked through my half-broken ribs. I heard it before I even opened my eyes. A voice, familiar, warm, cheerful. My daughter's voice. Mom's plane crashed. Finally, we can sell everything. Those weren't the words of a grieving child. They were the words of someone who had waited years for me to disappear. And then came the laugh. A sharp, relieved laugh. A laugh that cut deeper than the metal shard still lodged near my lung. It felt like listening to someone pop champagne at my funeral. I lay there, body shattered from the plane crash, ribs broken like brittle china, lungs hissing under machines, and my daughter was celebrating my death. She didn't know I was alive. The nurse had left her phone on the counter, speaker still on while grabbing linens. She didn't know I could hear. She didn't even know I existed at that moment. I was brought in as Jane Doe, because during the evacuation, someone stole my purse, my wallet, my whole identity. The airline manifest listed me as missing, presumed dead. And everyone, including my own daughter, accepted that easily. Too easily. When the nurse returned and picked up her phone, I kept my eyes closed. I didn't ask questions. I didn't correct her. I couldn't. Not with tubes in my chest and my face swollen beyond recognition. But even if I could have spoken, I'm not sure I would have. Because once you hear your child celebrate your death, there is no unhearing it, no going back. Her name is Candace. She used to cling to my leg on the first day of kindergarten. She used to draw crayon hearts for me on Mother's Day. She used to say, "I love you," with her whole little body. Now, she only said my name when she needed something. A down payment, tuition for Bree, help after her divorce, credit card bailouts. I gave and gave and gave. And she took and took and took. But I still wasn't prepared to hear her celebrate my death like it was her birthday. The pain in my body was nothing compared to the pain splitting my soul in half. The next morning, a man in a suit walked into my room. Polished shoes, perfect tie, the kind of man who talks like grief is inconvenient paperwork. He said he was from the airline. "Ms. Doe," he murmured, "we're offering settlements, undisclosed amounts, time sensitive." He had no idea I was one of the missing passengers whose family wasn't searching. No villages, no prayers, no daughter crying by a phone. Just silence. And a property listing going live. Later, a nurse told me something that made my heart drop into a cold, dark pit. "Sweetie, your daughter already listed your house for sale. 2 days. 2 days! Photos of the living room where I used to rock her during thunderstorms. The backyard where we planted daffodils when she was 6. She called it an outdated fixer-upper. My home, my memories, my life, reduced to marketing vocabulary? There are many kinds of death. One is when your body gives up. The other is realizing your child sees you as property, not a person. That second death, it's the one that hurts the most. 3 weeks later, when I could finally sit up, they handed me a mirror. I didn't recognize the woman staring back. Purple bruises pooling like ink stains, hair matted, one missing tooth. A stranger. But her eyes? Her eyes were mine. Eyes that had seen childbirth, heartbreak, widowhood, bankruptcy. Eyes that had survived decades of emotional cuts long before a plane tore through the sky. I whispered my name. June Malo. You're still here. No obituary, no funeral, no grieving daughter. Just a real estate listing and an impatient email chain where Candace asked the estate lawyer for faster probate updates. She wanted me dead legally before my body was even confirmed. The hospital forwarded me a sealed envelope, a settlement from the airline, $18 million in exchange for silence. I didn't cry. I didn't smile. I didn't even blink. I just realized one thing. Candace thought she had won. She thought she'd inherited everything. But she didn't know I was still alive. And she didn't know I had changed my will years ago. She didn't know anything. I called my lawyer, Marvin. When he heard my voice, he didn't scream. He didn't gasp. He whispered, June, where are you? Are you alive? As alive as someone can be, which is more than I can say for my reputation. 2 days later, we met in a borrowed office. I wore sunglasses not to hide, but to protect myself from a world that had already buried me. I told him, I want the settlement, but Candace gets nothing, not 1 cent. He nodded. And Bree, he asked. A softness cracked through me. For Bree, I whispered, set up a trust, but she gets it at 30, and only if she breaks free from her mother's control. Marvin looked at me for a long time. You've changed. I said, no. I just stopped pretending. The next morning, I checked myself out of rehab, rented a tiny apartment in a town far away, bought thrift store clothes and a used car. A life small enough to fit in a suitcase, and big enough to rebuild myself inside it. I used a new name, June Emerson, my grandmother's maiden name. She would have liked that. I didn't look like a woman worth $18 million, but I looked like a woman with nothing left to lose. Sometimes that's far more dangerous. The first time I returned to see my old house, I almost didn't recognize it. The hydrangeas I planted after my husband died? Gone. The wind chime Bree made in 2nd grade? Gone. The front door painted a bland, soulless beige. And in the yard? Under contract. I parked across the street and watched strangers touring the home where I tucked my daughter in at night. And behind them stood Candace, smiling like she'd finally won, like grief was an inconvenience she dodged. She didn't look like someone mourning her mother. She looked like a realtor closing a deal. 3 days later, I followed her. I wasn't ready to confront her, but I needed to see how she lived without me. At a storage unit, she unloaded boxes with Bree beside her. Candace talked nonstop, hands waving. Bree stared out the window, arms crossed, exhausted. And inside one of the boxes, through the open trunk, I saw something that made my blood run cold. And inside one of those boxes, I could see it through the open trunk, my cedar chest. My mother's handwriting still faint on the underside. A lifetime of heirlooms, photos, letters, baby shoes, pressed flowers, everything a woman keeps safe when she thinks her family will cherish it someday. Candace slammed the trunk shut without even glancing at it, like it was nothing, like I was nothing. I felt something inside me settle, Not anger, not even revenge. A final, clean kind of detachment. The kind you feel when you finally understand someone's truth. Candace didn't lose me. She never had me. They drove off again, and I followed at a steady distance. They stopped next at an upscale consignment shop, the kind that smells like stale perfume and desperation disguised as vintage luxury. Candace spoke with the manager, smiling brightly as if she were donating to charity. Bree just stood there, hugging her arms around herself. I watched her eyes drift to the car window where she spotted me. Or rather, the version of me she saw, a tired older woman with a scarf, sunglasses, and a rental car too plain to notice twice. For a second, her eyes locked with mine, and something flickered. A question, a pull, a strange familiarity. But she looked away. She didn't know. Not yet. The moment everything cracked. Later that night, I returned home and opened the secure folder again. Another email awaited, from Candace. Time-stamped barely an hour earlier. Subject: when will funds be transferred? She didn't even bother pretending grief anymore. She was pushing the attorney, pushing probate, pushing to close my life like a file cabinet drawer. She wrote, I need access as soon as possible. Bree's tuition is due, and frankly, Mom wouldn't have wanted the money sitting around doing nothing. Please hurry this along. Bree's tuition? That was strange. Bree had graduated. I paid for it. I remember writing the final check myself. So, what tuition? Then another email dropped in the folder, from the attorney replying to her. As stated, funds cannot be released until verification of final death certificate. Delays are standard in large-scale disaster cases. Candace responded immediately. Well, it's been weeks, and no offense, but my mother wasn't exactly complicated. Not complicated, just convenient. The first truth to reveal. As I scrolled, I found it. A message from Bree, sent privately, not to the attorney, but to my lawyer, Marvin. Short, shaky, typed at 2:13 a.m. Mr. Levin, I know my mother thinks everything should go to her, but Grandma wouldn't have wanted it that way. Please don't finalize anything until I talk to you. Please, I'm not like her. I stopped breathing. Not like her. Not like her. It echoed in my mind like a hymn, like a prayer, like a rope thrown to someone drowning. Bree wasn't celebrating. Bree wasn't rushing. Bree wasn't discarding my life in boxes and trash piles. She was trying. In her own quiet, terrified way, she was trying to save what she could. That single email changed everything. Because until then, I'd planned to stay dead for a year, to disappear entirely before exposing the truth. But maybe I didn't need a year. Maybe I just needed the right moment. The perfect opportunity arrived. That opportunity came faster than I expected. 3 days later, Candace held an estate walkthrough at my house, with contractors, an interior designer, and a man carrying a clipboard who introduced himself loudly as the buyer. She spoke about me like I was dust. She was a hoarder, she exaggerated. She never upgraded anything. She didn't believe in spending money. She was sweet, but stuck in the past. The buyer nodded sympathetically, as if Candace were the victim of my existence. Bree stood in the background, silent, staring at the floor, hands trembling. I watched from the hallway, behind the workers carrying boxes. No one looked twice. I was invisible, a ghost hunting the home built by my own hands. Then something happened, something tiny, something that cracked the mask clean off Candace. The cedar chest, my cedar chest, slipped from one mover's grip and hit the floor with a heavy thud. The lid popped open slightly. A stack of letters spilled out. Letters addressed to me in Bree's handwriting. Candace snapped. Bree, I told you to throw those out. Why do you keep bringing this junk? The workers froze. Bree's face rushed red. They're not junk, she whispered. They're Grandma's. Grandma is dead, Bree, and we need space, not sentimental crap. And then Bree said something that made my heart ache. I miss her. Candace scoffed. You barely knew her. Bree's voice cracked. I knew her better than you did. Candace's face twisted, sharp and ugly. Get in the car now. And that was it. That was the exact moment I decided Candace wasn't going to get away with this. Not legally, not morally, not financially, not as a daughter, not as a human being. And Bree was going to get every single thing Candace tried to steal. The next step. I drove straight to Marvin's temporary office. He greeted me with a slow exhale. He said, "You're early." I said, "No, she's late." He looked confused. "June, what do you want to do?" I sat down, unwrapped my scarf, and folded my hands calmly. "Marvin," I said, "I want to reveal I'm alive." He blinked. "You're sure?" But I wasn't done. "And I want to do it in a way she'll never forget." Marvin leaned back in his chair, eyes narrowed behind his glasses. "You're sure?" he repeated. I nodded. "More sure than I've ever been. She's destroying everything I built, everything I saved, everything that mattered." He sighed, rubbing his chin. "All right, then we do this smart." He opened a leather folder and slid a stack of papers toward me. "These are the probate delay notices, the temporary freeze on all assets, and the formal request for identity verification." I raised an eyebrow. Identity verification? Oh, yes. If someone claims your death is being mishandled, the court has the right to request confirmation, preferably from you. A spark of satisfaction flickered inside me. "So, I show up?" Marvin shook his head. "Oh no, not yet. That would give her time to spin a story." He tapped the papers. "We'll make the court request a video appearance, a mandatory one, recorded, official, filed." I leaned forward. "And Candace will be there?" "He has to be," he said. "If she doesn't appear, she forfeits all claims." I smiled for the first time in weeks. Set the date. Candace arrived 6 minutes late. Naturally. Her hair was perfect, her lipstick bold, her expression annoyed by the mere inconvenience of legal protocol. Bree trailed behind her, pale and quiet. "Why are we doing this on video?" Candace muttered as she sat. "This could have been an email." The court officer said nothing. The judge cleared his throat. "We are awaiting one final participant." Candace rolled her eyes. "Who? The ghost of my mother?" The officer pressed a button. A large screen on the wall lit up. Static. Then a loading symbol. Then my face. Me. Alive. Breathing. Staring straight into the camera. Candace's jaw dropped so fast it was almost comical. Bree made a choking sound, half gasp, half sob. Candace stood up so quickly her chair slammed backward. Who? No, this is some sick video edit." "Hello, Candace," I said evenly. "It's been a while." Her face drained of color. "You're dead." "Clearly, she is not," the judge replied calmly. Candace shook her head violently. "This is fake. That's not her. This is AI, deep fake, whatever." "Candace, tell me, how's that consignment shop treating you? The one on Harbor Street? The one where you tried to sell my cedar chest?" Her mouth fell open. "And did the contractor enjoy the tour of my house? Did you show him the dining room where you spilled red wine at 16 and blamed the dog?" Her knees buckled. She dropped back into her chair like her bones had given out. Bree was crying quietly now, hands over her mouth, eyes locked onto me. The judge spoke. "Mrs. Green, do you now confirm that this woman is indeed your mother?" Candace's voice was a whisper. "Yes." The judge tapped his pen. "Then, the probate filing is invalid. All estate actions taken by you are nullified. Additionally," he looked over his glasses, "we will now review potential charges of fraud, misrepresentation, and attempted theft." Candace's head snapped up. "What? You can't, this isn't fair." "Fair?" I said softly. "You wanted me gone. You treated my life like garbage. You told my granddaughter to throw out her own letters." Bree's face crumbled. Candace whirled on her. You sent letters? What did you tell her? Enough, the judge warned. I leaned closer to my camera. Candace, you didn't just hurt me. You hurt Bree. You lied about tuition. You lied about debts. You lied to everyone so you could take everything. Her voice shook with fury. You don't know anything about my life. No, but I know you stopped being my daughter long before this. The twist that breaks her. Marvin cleared his throat. Your Honor, before we proceed to penalties, my client has prepared one final request. Candace glared at the screen. Oh, I'm sure she has. Marvin slid another paper forward. I request that all inheritance rights be reassigned. Candace's eyes widened. To whom? She demanded. Marvin smiled gently. To Bree. Candace exploded. Absolutely not! You can't do that! She's a child! She doesn't know anything about money! Bree whispered, trembling. Mom? Stop! Candace turned on her like a weapon. You don't dare! You think you deserve anything? You sided with her? Actually, the judge interrupted, your daughter hasn't said a single negative thing about you. You did that all by yourself. Candace froze. Bree's eyes filled again, but this time not with fear, with relief, with love, with something brave. She lifted her head. I just wanted Grandma back. My heart fractured and healed in the same second. I smiled at her. You never lost me. The judge cleared his throat. The reassignment request will be reviewed, but based on evidence so far, Mrs. Green, your actions will be investigated thoroughly. You may lose all claim to your mother's estate. Candace looked like she'd been hit by a truck. Bree reached for her mother's arm gently. Candace shoved her hand away. You ruined this, she hissed. No, I said quietly. This was ruined long before today. The judge banged his gavel. We are adjourned. The screen went dark.
If this story touched a part of your heart, even a little, remember, you're not watching this alone. Somewhere out there, someone else felt this story the same way you did. So give it a like, leave a comment, let us know you were here, and hit subscribe because the next story might be the one your soul has been waiting for.